Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We get started soon. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. All right, everybody, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's your boy Retro Recap, or also known as Double R. We are here live to talk all things NFL trade deadline. Appreciate everybody for being here. We're gonna go ahead and get us up on the screen here. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Welcome in, everybody, as we get on the screen here. I actually, a lot of what we're gonna be looking at here is gonna be the first time I've seen a lot of this news. I have not looked at, only news I saw today was the Sauce Gardner trade. That was the one I think I saw. Like everything else, this is gonna be new to me. So this is gonna be a real raw reaction to trades. Obviously, we do cover the Baltimore Ravens on this channel. So we talk about the move that they made. Did they make any other moves before the 4 p.m. deadline? All right. So first trade we're gonna react to here is going to be, the Dallas Cowboys, who are in need of pass rush help. They need this defensive line help. And, ever since trading Micah Parsons, we knew defense was gonna be an issue. They already had an issue on defense with them, and so Micah Parsons is gone. You did fill it with the return package, but I feel like the Cowboys needed more. So the Cowboys are receiving what I was hoping the Ravens would get, is Quinnen Williams, run stuffer. He can hold the line. He can set the edge. Williams is really, really talented. The Jets aren't going nowhere. Jets got their first win, last week, couple weeks ago. So they aren't going nowhere. Going to train him 6'3", 303 pounds. Like I said, he's a run stuffer from Alabama. The man is really good at what he does, and the Cowboys kind of need this, honestly. They really do need this kind of like big body guy, because right now teams can kind of do whatever they want to the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like it's been like that for some years now, where teams can just like have their way. Welcome in everybody. Appreciate everybody for being here. So yeah, Quinnen Williams definitely is going to make a big upgrade. Now let's see what the Jets get in return. The Jets get Mazi Smith. So they get a defensive tackle back, and they get a 2026 second round pick and a 2027 first round pick. So the Jets are getting the Cowboys first round pick in 2 years, and they're getting a second round pick, and they're getting a defensive tackle in return. So the return on investment for the Jets here is really good. They aren't going anywhere with him anyway. So why not ship him off? He's going to a Cowboys team that really could use it. And I think both teams won this trade. Mazi Smith. Let's take a look. Not too familiar with Mazi Smith for the Cowboys. He's a D tackle, 6'3", 337. 3 years of experience with the Michigan. All right, those are the numbers. Hasn't even played in a few of these games, actually. So that tells you the kind of player he is. I mean, you weren't going to get back equal talent in a D tackle if you just trade off a good one. So if obviously if he was as good as Quinnen Williams, he wouldn't get traded. He wouldn't be in this trade. So that's cool and all. Welcome in, everybody. I think the Jets actually, we'll see. I don't know where the Cowboys are going. I think the Jets won this deal. They're not going anywhere the next couple of years anyway. You get a second round pick, and you get a first round pick, and you get a guy that can start on your defense right now. He wasn't getting, as you can see, he wasn't getting that much playing time with the Cowboys. Now you'll get playing time with Quinnen Williams gone. You'll get playing time. So the Jets must see some potential in him to want to get a D tackle in return. And he'll get some playing time. So they see an upside there. Bears, the Chicago Bears, at a first-round pass rusher. Let's look at the trade here. This trade I'm not sure of. The Chicago Bears, who got 5 wins this year, bro. 5-3 this year. Who would have thought the Chicago Bears would be above 500 right now? But Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, they balling. But they could use some help on the defense. Let's see what they did. All right, Bears receive defensive end Joe Tyron Shanoika. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. And a 2026 7th-round draft pick. All right. And the Browns are going to, you can tell a lot before you even look at the full detail of the players. You can look at the quality of trade just by the draft picks that are getting exchanged here. So a 7th-round draft pick, the Browns, who are shipping off, get a 6th-round draft pick. So this tells me right now, I don't know much about this guy, Joe, but I can tell you he's probably like a mid-level, same guy like previous guy. Probably not getting a lot of playing time. Let's see, 6'5", 259, and he's a defensive end. All right, so he's not in the trenches, like in the middle, like a D tackle is. 259, comes out of Washington, 5 years of experience. Take a look at the numbers here. Okay, didn't play the Bengals, didn't record anything in the Ravens game. In Dolphins game, the same thing. So he had 3 games this year where he wasn't really pretty much active. No sacks on the year. Let's look at his career numbers. I think this is like a depth piece, if anything. He has playing time, as we saw. 5 sacks. Okay, so he can get to the quarterback every now and then. You know, Bears could use the help, and you still get a 7th-round draft pick in return. So you basically almost swap draft picks, and you get a defensive piece. I think it's a good deal for the Bears, who could use a depth piece. You know, they're making a run for the wild card. So I like that the Bears are added a depth piece there. Browns, we don't know what the Browns are doing. Browns are just the Browns. You traded you brought Joe Flacco in. This is a side note. You brought Joe Flacco back after the magic that he gave you in 2023. You let him go, bring him back, trade him to a division rival. Who, I mean, even though the Bengals defense is horrendous, Joe Flacco's been balling. He got 2 legit receivers. You basically just give. I mean, if Cincinnati defense was any somewhat decent, they would be making a. I mean, the season's still young, but the Bengals will be making a legit playoff push because Joe Flacco has legit weapons on this roster that he can actually do something with. So, I'm not sure what the Browns are doing here. But I would say this, I mean, just off of standard, or off the merit of looking at this, I think the Browns, the Bears got probably the better of this trade. All right. Next one we got, Seahawks are trading for the Saints receiver Rashid Shaheed. Familiar with his name. 4th-year player out of Weber State. He's going to the Seahawks. I mean, obviously you already know they got a couple of receivers that are really good. Let's take a look at his numbers here, though. Okay. So obviously the Saints ain't going nowhere, but he's had at least 4 catches in every game this year. So, and he had a 100-yard game against the Giants, 4 catches for 114 yards. So he could get the ball. I mean, he had 9 catches against the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, a lot of these games are blowouts. So I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, the Saints have been getting blown out at least 5 of their games. 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 of their games have been blowouts. So, you know what I'm saying? You take a guess at a lot of those catches that he's probably getting is in, I don't want to say garbage time, but the Saints are getting blown out. So when you look at Rashid Shaheed, he is going to be a good piece for the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, we know we got the outstanding rookie and Enigma. Let's look at the Seahawks numbers. Let's look at the roster real quick. Take a look at something real quick. Yo, Trey, what's good? I think so too. He gets off that what am I looking for here? I think I get sidetracked very quick. What am I looking for here, bro? Okay, that's a Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp. So you add Shaheed, who, like I said, he's got at least 4 catches every single game this year. So the consistency, he had 9 catches, he had a 100-yard game. You add him to Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp, and Darnold has been playing pretty good. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Darnold has been playing good. So I like that. I mean, they're going for it all here. They got the receivers. You add another good receiver. Mike McDonald's a good head coach. I still think the Ravens should have kept him over Harbaugh, but whatever. He's a great coach. He's good on defense, and yeah. Now you got another complimentary receiver to go along with what you already had. And they beat the brakes off of the Commanders the other day. Well, what was today? Yesterday. They beat the brakes off the Commanders. They're going for it all. Seattle was 6-2. If y'all haven't seen my power rankings video, go check it out. Really, really, really good stuff. Okay. The Saints are getting back so this is next year's draft. They're getting back a 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick. And that sounds about right. I mean, for a guy, let's go back to Rashid Shaheed's numbers overall, not just this year, because he had David Carr as his quarterback before he retired. So I don't look at just this year. This year he's already getting the majority of the boatload of the catches. I mean, who else is on the Saints? But he's had 40 catches before. In 15 games, he's averaging about 15 yards a catch. I mean, that's when you look at explosiveness, like 15 yards a catch is pretty solid if you really think about it. That's what his career is. So he's a chain mover. That tells you that. So when he gets the ball in his hands, he's a chain mover. He's averaging 15 yards a catch. You know what I'm saying? He's got in the end zone 5 times in 2023. His first down, here we go, first down percentage. This year is at 50%, so half his catches are for first downs. 60% last year. He's hovering around. So more often than not, the catches that he gets is going to give you a first down. Just off the percentage, and then look at the average yards per catch. So you add that to Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp. You know, that's filthy if you ask me. It does that take a lot away? I don't think so, bro. I don't think it takes away from Njigba at all. They know Jackson Smith is the future. He's putting up crazy numbers as a rookie. So they'd be foolish to be like, let's force the ball. I mean, I ain't gonna say force it, but let's target a little bit more of Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed was getting those targets because there's nobody in with the Saints. He's a perfect third receiver for this team. It's going to take a little bit of targets away from Njigba, but I don't think it's going to be nothing drastic. You know what I'm saying? Shaheed only needs about 3 targets a game. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 targets a game. Then Njigba can get 8, 9, 10 targets a game. And Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. So I think this trade for the Seahawks is really good. Really good. And they're going to be in the playoffs this year. All right, here's the big one. Let's get to the big one here. Let's get to the big one. Sauce Gardner. I probably should have opened up with this trade. This is the biggest trade of all. Sauce Gardner has been traded to a division rival. That's what makes it even crazier, bro. Is that he is hold up. No, I'm sorry. It's not division rival. Excuse me. AFC. He's traded to another team in the AFC. I guess the Jets. It doesn't matter with the Jets. I guess it doesn't matter with the Jets. I mean, the Jets aren't going anywhere. But Sauce Gardner, who was, I mean, a couple years ago, people were talking about Sauce Gardner could be the next Darrelle Revis type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's very good at what he does. He plays the 17 games, 16 games. He plays. I mean, he's in games. He doesn't miss very many games. He's very good. He's a very good defender. You know what I'm saying? Even though the career interception numbers don't show that, he's a very good man-to-man. You can put him on as a on the outside, the inside, but I mean, obviously he plays on the outside. Sauce Gardner is legit. I was actually surprised that they weren't. I mean, the Jets aren't going anywhere anyway, so I guess you get rid of them. But let's look at what they got back, and I'll get more into the trade itself in a second. So the Jets are receiving next year's first-round pick for the Colts, which the way they're balling right now, that won't be a high draft pick. Unless all of a sudden they just collapse, which I doubt. You just got you just got Sauce Gardner. I mean, you're not going anywhere. You're not going backwards anytime soon. And then you got a first-round pick for the following year. So you got a first-round pick next year, another one in 2027. So remember, Sauce Gardner was a top 3 pick. You got 2 first-rounders back-to-back years. Regardless of what position they are, the Jets are going to be bad. So you're going to have your own first-round pick, and you're going to have another first-round pick with this trade here. So you can retool whatever you need to retool. And you're probably going to be bad next year. You're going to get another first-round pick along with your other bad first-round that you're probably going to have next year when you're bad. Unless they drastically do something crazy. So I think that is good value back for a Sauce Gardner, who was a top 3 pick. Now let's look at the receiver, Mitchell. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar. Adonai Mitchell. I'm not too familiar with him. Haven't watched too many Colts games this year. He's a second-round player, maybe, and that's probably why I don't know. 6'2", 205, 23 years old. The numbers don't tell me everything. So let me take a look at the numbers. He's had 3 catches for 96 yards in one game, so that was his breakout game. He almost had 100 yards in that Rams game. 2 catches, 3 catches. Yeah, so, I didn't expect him to be a like top guy, because you already giving up a first round in back-to-back years. I didn't expect this receiver to be anything like crazy good. I mean potential wise, but like resume wise so far. So that makes sense. So the Colts, this trade is telling me the Colts are going for it all, because they already at 7-2. You barely lost to the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? The team is playing for Irsay, who passed away before the season. The daughter who's owning the team, she's running the show really good. She's really a hands-on, let's get shit fixed type of personality. Like, she don't let shit linger. Like, she's always like a solution-oriented type of owner, and that's what you need. And so they're playing for the owner. They're playing for the current owner. The Colts looking good. And then this move tells me they're going for it all. They already got a solid team. Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones played his worst game, but he's been balling. You knew they were going to be buyers at the deadline. I think this is a good move. I really do. I think this is a good move. They gave up their first defensive piece for a depth receiver. I think the Colts win this deal. They gave up their number 1 receiver. You think the Colts won this deal? I think definitely the Colts won this deal. I think the Colts definitely won this deal. I'm not going to say definitively. I don't know. The Colts got better. The Colts, the way they're playing right now, they're not about to head to work. Let's go, Ray. All right, man. Thank you, all in the mix. I appreciate you, dog. They traded. They're going for it all. They're probably going to be good for the next couple of years. Sauce Gardner makes them better the next couple of years, depending on the contract situation. You got 2 first-round picks. It'd been nice to maybe get another pick in the 3rd round, maybe of next year. But you got a first round in the following year. I think that's. They're going to be bad regardless. So you're going to have 2 first-round picks in the next two years, your own, and then these, to really retool. The Jets aren't going nowhere. I think it's a solid deal for both teams. Sauce Gardner is going to make them better. The Colts, you better watch out. The Colts they lost to the Steelers, but that's a tough game to win in that stadium. for that kind of team. But the Colts are serious, bro. And I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't taking them seriously at first. But they kept winning and winning and winning. I'm like, what's going on? The Colts came out of nowhere. As far as like, I didn't think Daniel Jones gonna be balling like this. You know, I thought Anthony Richardson was gonna be the starter. I'm like, so I wasn't even thinking like that, bro. You know, so it's crazy how good they become. All right. Raiders trade Jacoby Myers to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacoby Myers, once again, we already know the Raiders aren't going anywhere. Jacoby Myers, another guy, they had at least 3 catches every game. He's averaging 12 yards a catch. I'm sorry, no, he's not averaging 12 yards a catch. He's averaging 10 yards a catch. You know, another piece. It gives like the Jaguars are going to be on that bubble wild card team. With the Colts playing as good, I mean both the Colts and the Jaguars have been playing solid record wise. This is a piece that they're buying for. The Jaguars are going for it. I mean, in terms of adding it, they're not going for all in. But if you're gonna give up, if you're gonna get Jacoby Myers to go along with geez, what's the quarterback's name? I cannot think of his name because I'm not Trevor Lawrence. That's what it was, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it makes them better, but I don't know how far the Jaguars are really gonna go. I don't even think they realize how good they are, bro. Or good or bad they are. I didn't expect the Jaguars to be record-wise as good as they are, but we'll see. Vegas is Vegas right now. Pete Carroll, he only do but so much, bro. Pete Carroll's a good coach, but in resume, but I don't know. We'll have to see if he can turn this team around. It's his first year. So it's like, you know, we'll see. Because Pete Carroll resume-wise is good, but the Raiders are a mess. Ever since the whole John Gruden stuff a couple years ago, I mean, they've been bad for a while, but they have a good. They was in the playoffs a couple years ago, and then they just were bad again. So it is what it is. Cowboys receive Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals. Does anybody want anybody from the Bengals now? Does anybody want anything from the Bengals at this point? Their defense is so bad. But the Cowboys are receiving linebacker Logan Wilson for a 7th-round draft pick. Dallas did pretty good, at least adding defensive depth on their roster. Their defense obviously is not that good. They can't stop a nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? So getting Williams and getting a linebacker, so you're adding depth to each layer. You added the front 4. You add to the linebacking crew. Solid trade. You only gave him a 7th-round pick. I like it. I like it for the Cowboys. It further solidifies the agenda of going for defense. I think Pickens and Lamb are good. Dak Prescott has been good. You need defense. You give up 40 points to the Packers. You give them another 40 to the Broncos. I mean, Cowboys defense has been horrific this year. And you know, Micah Parsons is only one guy. I don't think Micah Parsons would have made the defense. It would have been better, but I don't think the Cowboys defense is bad. So I like the move they did. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. The Cowboys been acting. I like what they've been doing. Ravens. Here we go. Baltimore Ravens. If you are a Ravens fan, all right, you know we got a lot of our viewers here are Ravens fans because, as you can see, Baltimore Ravens. We got linebacker Dremonte Jones. This happened last night. And we gave up a 5th-round draft pick. So, Jones has been balling in his last few games. And I think that's where this trade comes from. This trade comes off of potential, if anything. It's not like he's been having like but he's been balling good lately. I think he has a sack in each of his last 4 games. Yep, the Raiders he had a sack. The Patriots he had a sack. The Colts, so he had a 1.5 sacks against the Chargers. So if you're looking for like how has he been playing lately, what have you been doing for me lately? He's been getting to the quarterback, and that's what you're looking for. The Ravens need help on defense. I would have loved it, unless the Ravens have made a move right before the deadline. I think this is all the moves the Ravens did. He can get to the quarterback now. He's got 35 career sacks since 2019. He's played for the Broncos, played for the Seahawks. He's playing for the Titans. 4.5 sacks now. He had 4 all last year. He had 4.5 sacks in 2023. In 9 games, he already has that now. So he's been improving. He's been improved this year. He's already got the numbers in almost half the games. And boy, oh boy, the Ravens just need help in general. Now their defense has been playing good. 17 to the Rams, 16 to the Bears, and 6 to the Dolphins. So they have been playing better. We didn't even talk about the Jair Alexander trade, which I'll talk about. They shipped him off, and he had been a big liability for the Ravens secondary, and he wasn't getting that much playing time. Knows how the Ravens defense, they weren't playing immediately better when they took him out the lineup, but they've been getting better week by week. And I'm hoping that this is the same thing like last year. You don't want to get off to those terrible starts on defense. It was the same way last year. The Ravens were terrible on defense, and then like the last 7 to 8 weeks of the season, they just turned it around. And it looks like the same this year. They were horrific for the first 5 games of the year, 6 games of the year, outside that Browns game. 40 points here, 30 points here, 37 points here. It's like, what the hell are we doing right now? But that Rams game showed me something. It was still a lot of players missing, and we only gave up 17 points to the Rams. Then the Bears, Caleb Williams, that offense, I've seen them put up points against Dallas. They capable. You know what I'm saying? We've seen them put up 47 points against the Bengals, so they're capable. Ravens defense held them to 16 points. So, and then obviously the Dolphins game the other night, 6 points. So I was curious to see if the Ravens were going to go after an explosive pass rusher. Everybody kept talking Max Crosby, Quinyon Williams. Well, Quinyon Williams is not necessarily a pass rusher, but he's a stuffer. I didn't think Max Crosby was really realistic, but they did clear up space. So with that Jair Alexander trade, so I was wondering if they were going to make another move before the deadline. But maybe getting rid of Alexander and getting some cap. I don't know what they're going to do. You still got to do some of this Lamar Jackson contracts too. So we'll see. But getting back to the trade, you traded Odafe last month to the Chargers. So we knew, it's crazy enough, their defense, I think, started getting better around that time. It's crazy, right? Ravens defense has been good the last 3 games. You traded Odafe what? 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, something like that. Funny how their defense got better. Crazy enough, right? Not saying Odafe is the reason, because I think, with the names they got back there, with Hamilton and Malachi Starks, even though he's a rookie, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, you would think that the Ravens secondary would be amazing, but they're the ones getting tortured the most. But then again, there has been no pass rush. Kyle Van Noy is your leading pass rusher. Kyle Van Noy, I love Kyle Van Noy. I think he might have been the leading pass rusher a couple years ago when Clowney was there. Can't remember who had more sacks that year. But Kyle Van Noy as a linebacker should not be your leading pass rusher. The Ravens haven't had a pass rusher since Terrell Suggs in 2018. Matthew Judon maybe had that one good year. That one really great year, 9.5 sacks. The Ravens haven't had a dominant pass rusher in some time now. And I thought this trade deadline would be a time where I heard Calais Campbell. And Calais Campbell's not necessarily an extreme pass rusher, but at this point in time, but I heard Calais Campbell, Max Crosby, Quinyon Williams. We need a legit pass rusher, like somebody underneath, like under the cut of like a Myles Garrett, Max Crosby type of pass rusher, where the other players would get better because they would be getting double teamed. That's the kind of impact guy we need, because if you don't have nobody commanding double teams and everybody in your line is average at best, you're never going to get any pressure. You put that one guy, like a Myles Garrett type of player, commands double teams, and now the other players should be able to get to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But the Ravens didn't make that kind of move. So either way, Dramonte James been balling these last couple games. He's definitely an upgrade, and you only had to give him a 5th round pick for him. I think that's solid for the Ravens. Some other trades that happened. Jalen Phillips was another guy that I think I heard the Ravens linked to. goes to the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? They just got J Alexander. They've definitely felt like they need to improve on the defense. I actually thought the defense was solid for the Eagles. I think their offense is crazy. Their offense can be really, really stagnant sometimes in the passing game, especially if Saquon isn't getting going. But they add to the linebacker. I like Jalen Phillips. You only had to give him the third-round pick, which I think is fair. The Eagles are trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls. You know, these kind of trades, and the Dolphins were selling, these are the kind of trades you make. And then the J Alexander trade. All right, this was a couple days ago, after Halloween. Ravens trade J Alexander and also get a 7th-round draft pick for the Ravens. The Ravens get a 2026 draft pick. Once again, it saves some cap space. J Alexander wasn't really playing much. He was bad. He looked good in preseason. He got the injury. Then he hasn't been the same. And they weren't even playing him. So, which is probably why the defense got better. But he wasn't that good. So this gives him depth, and maybe Philly is hoping that if he heals and plays like he was playing in preseason, that's the kind of you're not getting Pro Bowler I don't think we're getting Pro Bowler version, but they don't really need him to be a Pro Bowler. They just need him to be solid as a depth piece. So that is a solid trade for the Ravens, because Ravens were using him, gets a 6th-round pick, and the Eagles are hoping that he can at least be somewhat good, somewhat better than he was in that Buffalo game and that what was the other game? I know that Buffalo game he was getting torched. That Lions game. Well, Marlon Humphrey was getting torched that Lions game. Anyway, so comment on your trades. What do you think about the trades that happened today? Let me just double check. I don't think the Ravens made any other moves before the deadline. Let me just okay, so Ravens didn't make any other moves. Okay, so DeMonte Jones and the Aloy Gilman trade for Dafe Away. Okay, so that's where we're at. So that's where the Ravens are at right now. So their deadline is come and gone, and so is this stream. I appreciate everybody for coming to a little short stream. I was going to make a video about this instead of doing a live stream, but I'm like, I kind of want to do more live. So that is all the news in my reaction. Like I said, a lot of these trades that I'm seeing were like reaction for the first time. I'd never even seen any of this news until just now. So you got real raw reaction. I'm gonna have to go back and look at these trades a little bit later and break it down in depth to really see who won and lost. But don't forget to like the video, share the video. This video will be public after the live is over, so you guys can go back and watch it or share it or all that good stuff. And tell me what you think. Did your team win the trade deadline? Did your team even make a move? I think Dallas got better. Dallas did good on defense, adding a D tackle and a linebacker. I think that Seattle did good by adding a receiver. I think the Ravens did solid cap space and got a guy that's been potentially going to be on the rise as a linebacker for the Ravens defense. So losers, I think the Steelers could have got O-line help. Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? I think that could have been, they could have gave him another receiver. Another team, I'm trying to think. The Colts, I think the Colts also won because of the Gardner trade. I mean, there's no way Sauce Gardner doesn't make you better. Whatever team could have done something. Maybe the Chiefs could have done something. I still think their receiving core is like whatever. But anyway, comment on what you think below, and we get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for watching. A little short stream, and we out.